Richard is available to get on the phone and talk your attendees through. That's one of the things, I'm a long-term legacy investment guy, right? And I mean, the notion that I could reach out to a Steve Jobs or an Elon Musk, I mean, it's just not going to happen, right? Steve's dead, but maybe Timmy Apple could attend, but I mean, they wouldn't, right? But in this crypto market, the Cantillon effect is such that we're actually really close to the faucet. And if you're close to the faucet, you've got access to this billionaire, if used properly, could really make the difference. And I'm very grateful for that.
I totally agree, Pepe, and I talked about it with many other people in this forum in the past year. And yeah, I was impressed when I met him in London, but I was more impressed that he took the time to speak with my friend who rode shotgun and came over and knew absolutely jack about the blockchain and about crypto in general. He made no representations of his own personal wealth, and he sat down with him for close to 15 minutes straight and had a conversation with him and really wanted to know what he was about. Richard draws a great amount of his energy and ambition and drive off of what other people give him in the way of their stories of success and how pleased they are with the things that he's done. And when he says he's doing it for his glory, I don't have any misgivings about that, because he's obviously ridden the materialism as long as you can ride it and as far as you can take it, and he sees that that's an empty proposition at the end of the day. You can only live in one house at a time, you can only drive one car at a time, and he's gone the limit there. And thankfully he got rid of that at an early age, because it allows him to focus his mind and his spirit and everything else about him on something that will endure long after he's gone, long after all of us are gone, hopefully. And we are where the internet was in 1989, fledgling.
I just had a little thought about like Richard's setup, and remember back in the day, and we were all really happy. He was like sat next to his burning candles, and over his left shoulder was that cabinet, out of focus cabinet of like crystals, and he used to get loads of comments. Go, oh, what's that crystal over there, and what's that? Oh, they look expensive, and he was like, oh, they're a couple of grand, $3,000, and all the hexagons were like, oh yeah, that's really nice. Oh, is that a duck one, or is that an owl one? And he used to talk about it, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he was like, oh, engagement on my wealth. Next thing you know, he's got like 3 watches spinning around next to him. Oh, that's a nice watch, Richard. Oh, that's a nice watch. Next thing you know, he's got like 20 of the things spinning next to him, and it's like, this is disgusting. Oh, viewership. And then it was all about, then that's when he started going there. Either it was a setup from him and he's testing it out, but you can't argue that he's just like tuned in to engagement and conflict. It's fascinating.
That's the human aspect and purpose behind a lot of what he does. So I can never get wound up. Some people say, oh, he's just doing this to throw it in our face, and he's just calling us all plebs without saying it. I said, no, he's not, man. He's goofing on the entire culture of internet and social media notoriety as a whole. It has very, very little to do with crypto in the final analysis. He is making a mockery of these baboons out there feeding on the rotting carcass of what was once a polite and generous world. That's it.
And I don't think it should surprise any of us when, like, somewhat overnight we see him transitioning into either another persona or going back to what we, in quotation marks, preferred. I think he's always one step ahead, and and I think it's in our best interests, no matter what you feel right now.
He enjoys his true believers, for sure. And I think maybe the next logical step would be for him to transition in a savvy and subtle way into the business guy, be the head on that TV show Shark Tank for a little while, maybe make them the next target of his social media mockery, because some of these people that appear on these incubator shows, whether it's Shark Tank or any other show like it, these people I think take themselves just a little bit too serious. Like, well, I'm the only one in the fucking world who's got a Da Vinci hanging on the wall in my pool house. Big deal. Every bit of tangible wealth will not follow you a second after your ticker stops beating, just like me, just like the sweet sweeper, and just like your maid dusts off your statuary in your mansion. So I think that would be the next logical progression for him. I don't expect him to put on tortoiseshell glasses, but who the fuck knows what he's going to do next. And that'll be fun to watch. It keeps the conversation moving and it keeps energy in the project, because stale, repetitive, monotonous talk does not, that's for sure. And that's so many of those streamers and online personas in the financial world are just blah.
Yeah, but just for the haters, at the bottom of his tombstone in brackets, it will say Big PP.
Man, that just reminded me of something. I started listening to Richard back in 2017 at that famous Roger Ver debate, and I really miss his old content. Like his old content, I don't know, maybe that's just a sign that you've been in an ecosystem for a long time, and you start to look back and with nostalgia. But I like the way he was so eager to get the information out early on. He was so eager to talk to people and get that info out, And what I'm thinking about now is just you kind of bringing it up is once Pulsechain launches, the amount of material that he will have that he will want to talk about and go over with everybody, and to do interviews and such, and even talk to other Hexicans and such. It's going to be so awesome. There's going to be so much content to absorb after the launch that we're all probably not anticipating right now, because we just are laser eye focused on the ball, right? At the Pulsechain launch, not really recognizing what all of events that are going to happen right after the launch. All the content, all the new projects, all the price action, all the numbers on the liquidity side of things.
Do you think he's trying to time the market, or?
I don't think so. And the reason why I say that is the coder friends I do have that are not really in the Hex ecosystem at all. They're more Ethereum guys. When they look at what they're doing right now, they would not anticipate that they would be able to update and run all that off Go so quickly. I think he made a choice not that long ago where he had to decide whether or not to improve this part of the code, or improve it later and launch now, or launch later and improve it now. And I think there's been so much hype that he has built up himself for good reason. So I do not think he will let it launch until he knows it will have 100% uptime and that the code is as well written as could possibly be done. He's got to make sure he gets it right so that his bragging rights are still intact and nobody can throw it in his face about how Pulsechain had to pause because some little part of code was not right, or whatever the case may be.
And he is very, very confident in what he believes and how he thinks. So it gives me more confidence in him how confident he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.